We're all kind of living through this massive unplanned experiment right now. AI is it's changing everything, and maybe nowhere more than how our kids learn. But here's the big question. Is it actually for the better? So today, we're going to dig into that using the amazing insights from author Ginny Anderson. I mean, doesn't it feel like the old rulebook for parenting, for teaching, it's just been completely tossed out the window? All of a sudden, we're all just scrambling, trying to figure this out. So, seriously, what's the new game plan? And here's the thing. The real challenge is that AI isn't just another gadget, right? It's not just a new calculator. It's basically a constant companion for our kids. And because of that, it's fundamentally changing the way they think and learn. The strategies that might have worked for us, well, they might just be totally obsolete for them. I mean, just think about it for a second. The entire tech world, what's their obsession? Making everything easier, smoother, more seamless. But here's the twist. When it comes to learning, easy can actually be the enemy. Because that real, deep, sticky learning, that only comes from the struggle. Okay, so to really get what's at stake here, we have to dive into two really powerful ideas from Jenny Anderson. We're going to look at the difference between a good struggle, which she calls friction, and this dangerous kind of shortcut she calls cognitive offloading. And this quote, wow, it really hits home. In Silicon Valley, friction is like the ultimate bad word. They want to eliminate it at all costs. But guess what? When it comes to learning, that little moment of struggle, that friction, that's literally where the magic happens. It's the engine that drives actual learning. So let's be clear about what we mean by friction. It's not about making things ridiculously hard or impossible, not at all. Think of it like a mental workout. It's that process of really wrestling with a problem, trying to make connections, and, finding your own way to the answer. That's how our brains actually get stronger. Now, on the complete flip side of friction, you have cognitive offloading. And this is exactly what it sounds like. It's when we let our devices do the heavy lifting, do the thinking for us. So when a student just asks an AI to write their essay, they're not just saving a little time. No, they are completely bypassing the entire thinking process. And what does that mean? It means they're skipping the learning, period. Okay, so you might be thinking, is this all just a theory? Or are we already seeing the real-world consequences of living in this frictionless world? Are our kids actually losing some of these essential skills? Well, the numbers, they're telling a pretty stark story. If you think back to around 2010, right? That's when social media and all this frictionless tech really exploded into our daily lives. And since then, well, we've seen some really worrying trends. Test scores in core subjects like math, reading, and science, they're down. At the same time, loneliness and unhappiness are way up. And maybe the scariest part, that core capacity for critical thinking, it seems to be fading. This isn't a coincidence. This is the real-world fallout of cognitive offloading. And this right here, this is exactly why you're seeing some schools push back in surprising ways. When a teacher makes a student write a paper by hand, it's not because they're being old-fashioned or trying to be difficult. No, they are deliberately reintroducing friction into the classroom. They understand a fundamental truth. The physical act of writing is the process of thinking. So, okay, reintroducing friction by, say, writing things by hand. That's one response. But what's the bigger picture when it comes to AI in schools? Well, as everyone tries to figure this out, we're basically seeing two very, very different futures emerge. It's like we're at a crossroads. So on one path, you've got a model like the Alpha School, where, honestly, AI is king. Just imagine this, a system that creates these hyper-personalized lessons just for your kid. So a math problem might be about basketball stats, or a history lesson might feature Marvel comics. It's all designed for maximum engagement, and it's built on this belief that, hey, the core learning can just get done on a screen in a couple of hours. But then, you have the other path. Take a huge public school system like Gwinnett County. They're taking a completely different, much more balanced approach. For them, AI isn't the main teacher, it's a tool that they weave throughout the entire curriculum. And the big focus? It's not just on using AI, it's on teaching kids how to manage it ethically, how to design with it, and how to really think critically about its impact on the world. So, which way do we go? The AI-centric path or the integrated one? Well, Jenny Anderson's argument is that maybe it's not about choosing one extreme or the other. The real goal is to find a truly human-centered balance in this wild new tech landscape. And this quote from her really gets to the heart of it. She says she wants her kids doing a lot of in-person, human stuff because learning is social.
Before we even start talking about the fancy AI tools, we have to protect the foundation. And that foundation is real human connection. Learning was never just about downloading facts into a brain. It's supposed to be social, it's messy, and it's a deeply, deeply human experience.
So if that's the goal, what should we be designing for? What should be our North Star? Well, it's not efficiency, that's for sure. It's humanity. We need to start building our schools and our learning environments around these three core pillars. First, protect and even encourage the friction that fuels critical thinking. Second, actively build the capacity for focused attention in a world that's designed to distract. And third, and maybe most importantly, prioritize and develop real human relationships, always.
Look, at the end of the day, this isn't about being a Luddite and banning AI. It's about being wise. It's about being thoughtful. We have to become the architects of a new kind of education, one that can harness the incredible power of AI, but do it while fiercely protecting the skills that make us human in the first place. Our curiosity, our creativity, our ability to connect with each other.
So, that leaves all of us with a final question. Friction or fluency? A future of easy answers that leads to shallow understanding, or a future where we choose to protect that essential struggle, that friction, because we know that's where the real learning and growth happens? I mean, really think about it. What will we choose to protect for the next generation?